Welcome to Overtime on Inferno, your weekly roundup of all the biggest stories in CSGO, quicker than everyone leaves me alone again. If you can rate or review us by the end of the episode, that would really help us. My name is Logan. AZ-esque is, well, honestly, I'm convinced he's dead at this point. He's working Kato, so he's left me alone for this week, which is, history can tell us is generally a bad idea, but fuck it, we're here. We have a little bit of a different kind of show for today. By we, I mean I. We're going to be doing Kato play-in rankings, but we're not going to do our general preview segment. We'll try and do a general preview for the Kato group stage with Elliot, who has differing opinions than me normally. What I asked Elliot to do in his downtime was to rank the teams in the play-ins in a specific order of tiers that I gave him. So it's not going to be your normal like S tier teams, your A tier teams, that kind of stuff. I have different ranking systems for this week. So the rankings system that I gave him was 5 categories. Should make it through at the top. Should make it through, but won't because of an anime style clusterfuck of things. Could make it through if everyone above them exploded. Fun teams, and in parentheses, I don't know where to put them, but they're going to be fun to watch. And probably won't make it through. So just a little bit different in the middle. So I have Elliot's picks for his teams in these tiers, and I have my picks for my teams in these tiers. We'll talk about both of them. So we're going to start towards the bottom on the probably won't make it. I have to... Elliot's list is a little bit of a clusterfuck itself in the formatting, so copy and paste. Okay, so teams that probably won't make it. Let's get it off the rip. I've got Permita, Greyhound, and MIBR. Elliot here also has Complexity. I don't have much to say about these teams. Permita is our Polish team. Right. Every time we have an event in Poland or in Germany, we have that like Polish or Germany representative. Cologne has the ESL Minor Shaft winner, and Kato has the Polish champ from the fall, which was Permita. They shouldn't do particularly well. No offense to them. I'm sure they're nice guys, but we don't know enough, and the teams that they're going to be playing up against are a little rough. It seems that they played tomorrow or today as this comes out against Complexity for their first match. If they're going to win something for their second match, if they're going to win something, it's probably that game against Complexity, but they've already lost 16-4 to Furia. There's not a huge amount to talk about with Permita. Greyhound is our second team on this list. As per usual, there are OSA representative. There's not really many other teams from OSA other than the one team that we talked about a couple weeks ago. This Greyhound team's fine. They're not gonna do anything insane. Again, day one is going on right now as I'm recording. They're doing the opening round and the upper quarters. All the lower matches will be tomorrow or today as you're doing this, and Friday. So I have some opening round matchup information. So where is it? Greyhound lost 16-6 to Spirit. No surprises there. The last two teams on this list are a little complicated here. MIBR is our South America representative officially. They're a little odd because last time we took a look at this MIBR roster, they didn't have Henny on it. He's kind of I say new, a new introduction into this roster. It's been since about halfway through August, but we haven't really seen MIBR do much. And they've taken away Hota and brought in Insani. So there's a little bit of possibility here that they may be able to do something. They actually put up a decent game against NIP, right? 16-13. They lost, but I'm not expecting them to get through the next round. This will just be one for each of these teams currently. This is just a good showing tournament, right? You're not planning on winning the whole thing. You're not planning on doing anything else. You're just planning on kind of showing up and getting some good practice in internationally. And the last team that Elliot has on his list, which on mine is in the next tier above, is Complexity. We saw some good stuff from Complexity at Blast. I would not anywhere close to come and say it was the best thing that we've ever seen from Complexity, but Grim has continued to show that he may be able to exist as a player, and that his days on Liquid was a little maybe preemptive. Floppy today against Big did pretty well. The rest of this team kind of fluctuates based on the day of the week. Personally, I think Complexity is a really fun team to watch because they're so flip-floppy. They can kind of go either way. They lost today 16-12 against Big. All right, now for the fun teams, I don't know where they'll go, but they'll be fun to watch tier. Ellie and I have some similar teams here, but some not. So we're starting to drift away a little bit. So Complexity, as I just said on my list, I think they'll be fun to watch. I don't have much more than they'll be fun to watch. I don't expect them to go through in any way. I don't expect them to be a top 8 team in this group. We've got some heavy hitters in plans, but we'll see how it goes through. Both of us have EG on this list. EG, who just came off of Blast Spring Showdown Premiere. I don't fucking know what it's called. Blast. EG, who just beat Heroic in a best of 3, and then again lost to Heroic in a best of 3. It seems that when this team's on and they're hitting shots and they get a little lucky, they can do something with it. But they're not consistent enough yet to do anything. But the fact of the matter is that if you are always at a possibility that you can take down a top 3 team in the world, then you're going to be fun to watch, right? There's always that little snagging feeling in the back of your head that just goes, maybe they could do this. Maybe it's doable. And we'll see how that goes. IHC, we've talked about a million times on this podcast. They're just really fun to watch. I can guarantee that neither Elliot or I expect them to get further than this round. I don't think either of us expect them to win a game, right? If they lose tomorrow against Pain, then they'll be out. But either way, IHC is just kind of always fun to watch. They play similar to the way old Tai Lu played, but just better and less stupid. Because old Tai Lu was just working a W key and beat you. This team seems to play a little bit more structured than that, and a little less aggressive. But they're a fun team to watch. In my fun team tier, I also have Pain here. I know Elliot rates Pain really highly, really rates Big Uzera. I'm jumping more on the fact that there was an article that came out the other day from HLTV, or maybe it was Dust 2, somewhere. I definitely saw it, though, that basically was a Skulls interview and said, yeah, we just changed all of our positions. So I don't have a huge amount of, they'll do super well here, but Pain's definitely a team that could be an upset maker. They lost today to Ents 16-7. All right, so that's, what was that, 1, 2, that's 7 teams out of the way. So we've got 9 teams left in 3 tiers of maybe may make it in to probably should make it in. So let's start on the maybe may make it in bit. Elliot has Pain here. As I said, he rates them really highly. A team that both of us put on could make it through if everyone above them exploded. Both of us put Sprout here. Sprout's been a kind of upstart team for a little while. Refresh and Zyphoon have just shown that they've been really good in this environment. Lounx has been insane. Stare has been insane. And, they did the important thing and removed slacks and added yellow. Everyone's happy about that. So we'll see how Zello works out for them. It'll be basically their first match in a decently sized tournament with Zello. So we'll see how that goes. But both of us are pretty high on the ability that this roster can take down some teams. They today lost to OG in a single overtime match, 16-19. Next on our list, so that's done with Elliot's could make it through if everyone above them exploded. I have 2 more teams in here. I have Big I don't think it's a big secret how much I kind of don't like this big team. I don't think Elliot really likes them either, but he put them a tier higher. Um, I I think that they're kind of overrated. They'll probably make it through because they're kind of a skill check for every team below them, but I'm super not high on big. And the other team that I have in this area is Ents. Ents to me continues to be on a, like, some days they're great and some days they just don't look very good. So it truly depends on what Ents we see. They just, I believe, lost map 2 to Cloud9 in a 2-0 in the upper quarters, but I may also be lying because ESL. No, they just lost map 1 to Cloud9 in the upper quarters. So we'll see how that goes a little bit more in there, and still have a lot that they can play for. They would play the winner of Permita Complexity if they were to lose. Who's next on my list? That's it for the could make it if everyone else above them exploded list. Now we get to the most fun category, which is the should make it through but won't because of an anime style clusterfuck of things that goes wrong at once. No, I will not shorten that name. So Elliot and I both agreed on 2 teams in this category. We'll first get to Elliot's weird team and then my weird team, but then we'll get to the 2 agreed upon teams. So Elliot's first weird team is Big. This is the other good fit spot for Big, which is, yeah, Big should probably make it through. They're the number 16th ranked team in the world according to HLTV, and they're theoretically the 7th highest team in this play-in, and realistically, they're probably better than every other team below them, but it's Big. I have zero faith in them actually being able to do anything on a given day, and honestly, I'd see Searson just not existing for 3 minutes and Keto just kind of being terrible, and then we're gone. The entire team's gone. So I don't know right now at this point. We'll see how it goes. They won their first match today against Complexity, but as Elliot and I both made decently clear, neither of us are extremely high on Complexity in this event. My weird team here is Fnatic. I'm not convinced by Fnatic yet. They're ranked at number 10 in HLTV. They're technically the 2nd highest ranked team here. I think that's just because there's a lot of teams below them that are probably better but less consistent. I think Fnatic is consistently okay. And I'm not sure if consistently okay will be good enough for this event. If a couple teams get hot, then there will be a big fight for trying to get through. The team that both of us have here that really makes sense is OG and NIP. We'll start with OG. We talked about it when we talked about Liquid and Liquid playing OG 2 weeks ago or last week before Blast. Basically, OG is the most coin flip team. It so depends on the day and how they play. They almost lost to Sprout today, and it was them winning was off the back of Flame putting up 1-4-2, which is ridiculous. I don't have much faith in OG because they're so coin flippy. It's not. I think all of us are kind of in the same ballpark here that OG could be the best team in the play-ins. They also may not make it through. And it really depends on the day of the week. The other team is NIP, because if we've been certain in one thing on this podcast, it's been the fact that if we think that they're going to be good, they're going to be terrible. And if we think they're going to be terrible, they're going to be good. So somehow in here, and remember, we didn't talk about this on the last episode, but Hampus is not playing currently, because he will be playing... Hampus will not be playing currently because of an injury, I believe. So instead they went and signed Config, because that's what teams do. So I don't have much faith in NIP. Me not having much faith in NIP also immediately says that they'll make it through. As I say this, they just beat Spirit 2-0, so they actually did make it through. So I guess both of our lists should just get thrown out. And then these should make it through teams. These really don't require a huge amount of explanation. Elliot has Fnatic and Ents up here. But both of us have Furia, Cloud9, and Spirit. Furia is too good of a team to be losing here. They play against Big a little bit later today to get through. They almost certainly should. Cloud9 is too drilled of a team and too good. Even with the addition of Buster, it is at worst a sideways move. At best, it's also probably a sideways move, but that their quote unquote like power level is still above the likes of an Ents, or if they were to lose, whoever they would have to play. And Spirit is just a good team. It's one of those teams that we don't see very often other than in big events. We don't see them in like Blasts, and we don't see them in like the smaller like IEM Dallas and that kind of stuff. But we will see them in Kato, and we'll see them in Cologne eventually. And this team is just kind of always good. They like Big that they're kind of a skill check for lower teams. They lost to NIP just now, but they go and play the winner of EG and Sprout. And if EG win that, then it should be an easy Spirit victory. If Sprout win that, it probably should still be an easy Spirit victory, but it'll be a little bit harder. Other than that, we'll be back again next week with our regular scheduled stuff. Nothing huge to report from the general Counter-Strike wasteland. That's it. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at ReadTLDR, at Logan Rao, have been at EasyEsk. We'll be back in next week, hopefully with a full cast.